Even though your situation is bad, you can control your mind. You are free to be happy in any moment.
I believe that God believes in you. So God knows and sees your potential. So I believe in you too. So you can.
Worry Exorcist. Today's main book is Twice Born. In this program, we will take up the main books published by IRH Press to solve various problems and questions that you are facing. The member who solves the problem is the Worry Exorcist. Every time various Happy Science staff will try to solve their problem, today's Worry Exorcists are these members.
Hello, this is Hide from Higher Express.
Hi, this is Tina from International Headquarters.
I'm Sam, the host of the show. As a Happy Science member, as Happy Science staff, we all three have been consulted by many people, so we would like to answer to concerns based on such experiences. Last week and this week, we will give you hints for your worries based on Twice Born. Now let me introduce the second problem. For this male office clerk, relationships in my workplace do not go well. A colleague, not a boss. He always speaks to me from above. I mean bossy, denying or judging everything I do. I'd like to leave my current job because of him, but I can't do it because I'm afraid of losing my job and money. How can I escape the persecution by him? What do you think about his feeling?
I think this is a common relationship issue. So someone did treat you badly, yeah. So, but I think if you think this world is the field of happiness, that is wrong. This world is full of suffering. As the Buddha said, life is suffering. That is the first truth. So we need to accept the suffering exists, and we need to focus on how to overcome it, how to deal with it. That's why I quote one phrase from the Twice Born again. And then the Master Okawa said like this. He said, page 105, I realized how foolish we humans are to be frustrated by trying to change other people's mind, when in fact we cannot even control our own minds. And I felt how important it is to have 100% control of our minds, to govern them completely. So everything depends on how you feel, how you thought. And then you have to choose how to think in the situation. And then you have a freedom how to act in the situation. But I want to give a hint how to change your thought. You need to observe him closely. Usually, such a kind of annoying people, criticizing people, has a kind of pattern. They feel frustrated by he did not appreciate enough. So someone pointed out your shortcoming. For example, you work so slow, something, right? You forget some kind of important thing, something. In that case, he realized he is better than you, yeah? And he tried to appeal his ability, and he tried to boast his talent secretly. Yeah? So in that situation, if we just receive the criticism, is not enough. What he really wants to say to you in the subconsciously, right? In this case, he's not boss, yeah? And he criticizes you like a boss. he want to be boss, but he not yet. And he tried to change you, he tried to criticize you. That means he tried to change you. Yeah? So the confidence came from the frustration. He was not appreciated enough. So you have to interpret his inner voice. Please praise me a lot. That is his inner voice. Ne? So in that situation, so what he wanted to be praised from you, appreciation from you. But if you just reject his statement as criticize, the situation is always same. That you need to change your thought. Or he needs just be appreciated. He requests my appreciation. Okay? In this case, you just appreciate, oh, you are good at some kind of part. I'm not good at. Yeah? So please teach me. That's kind of change attitudes. Dramatically change your relationship. Okay? So we have to interpret his inner voice. And then if he requests too much, okay, in that case, you need, this is kind of strategy. You set a time. Yeah? So I stay with him for half years. And then in half year, I try to change myself. If this situation is same, you need to think about next stage. But from the experiences of members, so focus on raise your ability. Focus on exploit your potential. And you become a better and a capable person. You attain new ability. And then suddenly you realize that the person's attitude also change. I think that is a basic theory of the happy science.
Thank you very much. So you mean that he have to know the true intention of his colleague and change his attitude or his mind to his colleague, right? I see. So what do you think for his or his colleague?
Well, I think first of all, I want to say I'm so sorry because you have so much stress. It must be very hard for you to go to work each day. I can really imagine how heavy you feel. So please relax. And I think there's many hints in this wonderful book, Twice Born. Especially this seems to really help out page 41 about criticism. He says here, Master Okawa says that in every era, there are always people who make critical remarks. There are two kinds of critics. One who offers opinions to try and prevent you from doing something with good intentions or out of kindness, and the more irresponsible one who simply criticizes others for the sake of criticism. So, this happens all the time. Everyone experiences this problem, so you're not alone. Please remember it. You're not alone.
So I think you are struggling to cope with his criticism, but from objective perspective, it's general topic. Ne? General topic. His criticism is not wrong. So it's harsh or not, someone from outside of you, as a third person, they can see you differently. So that it's the treasure for you. So you think I'm good at enough, but sometimes you have to realize other people see differently. That's gap. Eh? So you think good, but the other person not good yourself. That gap is space for your growth. So I don't know whether you like him or not. You can use his criticism as nourishment for your growth as a human. So so you are not movie director, but you can criticize all movie. Eh? So same thing happened to us. You are not good at everything, but some point you are good at better than me. You are better than me. You criticize me. That remark is not necessarily wrong. We can learn from it. Yeah.
And may I say, if you watch the movie Twice Born, you can see the same problem. So the character of Ichijo-san, who represents Master Okada in the story. He's working hard, but at his workplace, there's a very terrible co-worker who is so strict on him and talks very harshly to him, even though he's working hard. And first I saw that situation, I was shocked. Oh, how dare he talk to him that way? But the cool thing was the attitude of Ichijo-san, who represents Master Okada. His attitude was like a never give up. He's so strong, and he focused on just improve his work ability, and have an ideal, keep making effort each day. And he kept taking the hit, but he just get back up again, keep working hard. That was so moving to me and impressive. So please watch the movie if you haven't seen it yet.
So don't discourage in any situation. So powerful rebound is necessary for our life. So even though your situation is bad, you can control your mind. You are free to be happy in any moment. So even though your work situation is not good, you have another spare time. Please come to Happy Sign Temple and take a time to meditate. Calm your mind. You can find happy inside of you. And then if once you attain another happiness, you can see yourself differently. Workplace is not all your life. So you can learn as much as you can in that place. And then you go to another place and then have a wonderful time with someone. And then you can go back to your spiritual discipline place. It's hard, but need to spiritual growth.
Definitely. I remember in the movie the same thing. So of course you're going to lose your energy every day. You lose your energy, but in the movie, Master Okada's character, the Ichijo-san, he prayed, please fill me with energy. Please fill me with energy. His faith let him replenish his energy. You can do that too by going to Happy Science temples. Please try and please take a seminar. Give yourself the power to go in each day.
Yeah, I imitate him. I feel so tired. And then I have some issue with a coworker. I went to the restroom and then take a moment to calm your mind. And then I just ask, please give me the light, give me the peace. Suddenly, some spiritual light come down to me and I can energize it. It's like a candy for me. So even though you exhausted, but if you receive the refreshment, if you have another supply, you can fight again. So I think your situation is so bad, but if you realize there is a lot of friends, family support you, you can get through this situation. Yeah?
And you're so lucky to watch this video now
Yes.
and get these tips, because most businessmen start their day reading the newspaper. Right? It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's full of bad
Depressing.
news. So it takes your energy. So on your way to work, why don't you read this twice more? Then you can get so much ideas. You can read it on the train, and then you can get your energy to deal with the day.
So I think that I have some habit to master the book at least 30 minutes in a day. Without this habit, I cannot get out any vicious cycle. So from me, this book is not a book, it's an energy supply. Yeah? So when I get some difficult situation, I go back to home and then open his book and I refresh and refurbish and then re-energize. So if you have energy, you can get over everything. The problem is you don't have energy. So once you understand God or heavenly world exists and then try to help you, if you open heart, that energy is available to you any moment, any place.
listening to your story, Master said the same thing in this book, page 61. Sources of learning are not limited to school textbooks. Everything, including the things you find in your surroundings and the people you encounter in the course of your life, can be great sources to learn from. How you make good use of them and apply them to your own life will determine whether your life will ultimately end in success or failure. So your colleague is bad person, but changing viewpoint, your colleague give you a chance to change your mind, and also he give you a chance to encounter great learning or great encounter of faith. So please change your viewpoint. What should I do using this great chance and to make mind or faith greater than before? And listening to you telling, I also think that in the movie, Ichijo-san have a very high goal, his goal. Maybe this is a different point of us. So what do you think of the idea? What do you think of that?
Yeah, so if you focus on the solving problems, it's not enough. If you focus on the higher ideal, the whole situation is kind of material for the growth. So I experienced karate. Karate is a kind of the martial arts in Japanese, and then I tried to break the wall or something. And then my master always said, focus on the beyond the object. So if I break the wall, my focus is not here. My focus is here. So that means that this is not my final goal. And then this part is my final goal. And then surprisingly, your maximum power is focused on that wall. So yeah, so higher ideal is kind of driving force to change your life. Yeah, without higher goal, you are stagnated in the current situation. So let me introduce some example. So I heard some episode about that situation. It's not a co-worker situation. It's a relationship with mother-in-law and the wife. Yeah, so in Japan, it's so severe issue, the relationship at the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Yeah, one lady have to live with very strict mother-in-law, and then many people worry about her because her mother-in-law is so famous for the harsh education. The mother-in-law has a strict rule, and then every homework has a rule. Without obeying her rule, the wife have to be punished, scolded. It's so severe. The wife, the daughter-in-law decided, I tried to imitate her, follow her instruction just 1 year. That is my limit. And then 1 year focus on her all effort. She decided, and then she followed all instruction from mother-in-law. I mean, she open heart, and then show humility, and then show the willing to learn, and then the relationship suddenly changed. And surprisingly, half a year passed. Mother-in-law told her, "There's nothing to teach you anymore." Yeah, so this episode gives me the power of education. So if you attach your current situation, your current work ability, you have to suffer and have to seek the praise for others. You obey, beg the forgiveness for others. But if you focus on your Buddha nature, and the Buddha nature is infinite potential, you can be anyone. So if you make effort, if you follow the laws and cause effect, you can be anyone, even Buddha. So if you trust your Buddha nature and then open heart, your life definitely change.
That That makes me think about my own work situation.
Oh, yeah?
Wow, maybe I should be more humble. Good story.
Yeah.
I also like this part from the book. Yeah. From starting from the ordinary, page 28, the top. It says, no matter what kind of environment you find yourself in, if you shine like a diamond in your current situation, you will eventually find that a new path or a new life will open for you. I have come to know this is true. And he gives 3 attitudes to keep. One is always remember to make efforts. And the second attitude is have ideals, just what you guys talked about, something to live for. And 3 is, the important attitude is build up results each day. And we saw this in the movie as well because Ichijo-san was working hard. He was being bullied, but he kept making efforts. He had his ideal and he built tangible results each day. And then he was promoted above his coworker who was bullying him. So, as long as you focus on shining, on working hard and achieving your ideals, I think you will be surprised what happens.
I have a question. How do we get the high potential, high goal to change a mind or situation?
Yeah, if you want to think about your life goal, I think that's really important. Yeah, and also if you go to happy science temples and branch temples, and you can go to the prayer room and you can experience meditation, calm your mind, and think about what's your goal in your life and what's your goal for your work. And you can take notes and think deeply, or take a seminar, and if you can clarify what you want to achieve, I think that will help you a lot.
Yeah, so I'm still searching for the life goal, but I gradually understand I have some fate. Yeah, as you said, before we are born, we already decided some original plan. It's a kind of blueprint of life. So no matter how I struggle to different person, I cannot be. I need to be myself. I have to accomplish myself. It's like a seed. I have a seed. You have a seed, different kind of seed. You need to follow your seed. The how flourish depends on your effort, but you need to trust. You have a seed inside of you. That's a way to be blossom in the someday. So everything is kind of the preparation. So I focus like a master's movie. He always make best effort in any moment. That kind of attitude is a key to bloom your true potential.
I see. The seeds inside true with nature.
What happens if you have 2 different ideas or 2 different life goals and you're confused? What should you do? What do you think?
I think that we have the kind of the dual project. Yeah, so I think that sometimes we like to some other things, but the theme of the life is always the same. Eh? For us, it's kind of the spreading the spiritual truth. To spreading truth, we can use any method. Sometimes we write a book, sometimes we sell the music, sometimes we make a movie, and then I think the theme of our goal of the life is kind of the same, but the method is available for us. Yeah. So I quote from page 164. It's like a potential. Master Oka said, "I do not blame you for being immature. Being immature also means you have infinite potential for progress. However, if this potential for progress is left unfulfilled, who is to blame? Who bears the sin for it? No one but each one of you can bear that sin." So we have the true potential, tremendous potential. It's called Buddha nature. But if you untap the potential, it's not the fault of the God of Buddha. It's us. Yeah.
On the next page it says, in essence, everyone has the same power as God.
Yeah, same power as God.
I think this is kind of the face. We have the potential to same as Buddha. That's why our face is connected, the potential to a reality. Their face is kind of goal, and the face kind of like a dragging rope for us.
Yeah. Master said in page 160, that faith is the power that makes all the impossible possible. It eliminates all difficulties, makes all suffering disappear, and opens the direct road to God. Just you said like that. So we get the tremendous power from God to have faith. We can get to know how get a tremendous light or power from God. This book is written about that. So this is a miracle in this era.
And don't forget the power of prayer. So you can pray for guidance from your guardian spirit. And one of my favorite parts of the Victory of Faith is the part where Master Okawa prays so strongly and powerfully. It's so cool, very kakui, so please watch it. And he says like, to the thousands of tens of thousands, page 174, to the 50,000 disciples who have gathered here, and then he looks up in the sky. Do you remember the part? And then he says, to the thousands or tens of thousands of Tathagatas and Bodhisattvas who have come today, to the beings of light in heaven, give us power to our sacred wish. That's the most exciting part for me. So you can do that too. You can pray and you can get power and you can get energy. Please don't hesitate.
About different thing, Master said in page 105, there are countless people in the world who wish to be loved by others or to be loved by a particular person. There are also many people who create suffering because they cannot receive the love they desire. Then how about your heart? When you look inside your heart, how much love do you have for others? So just reflect for me. When I got worried or when I was in the hard situation, I tend to only think myself and only think how do I get love from others. Maybe he is in like similar situation. How do I change colleague and how to make his colleague give me love? So change viewpoint. What do I for him? This is very good point. Change viewpoint, I think. That's great.
Can I quote the last part? It's not related to the answer for the question, but this is the climax of this book. 147. This is the climax of this book. Before he stand up as a religious leader, he was tried by the devil. And that is evidence he is kind of had a mission as a savior. And then he said, I thought to myself, it is all right to be ordinary. I try to accumulate outstanding results while living as an ordinary person. No, I do not even need to attain great achievements. Small achievements are fine. I just want to lead a kind of life I can be proud of. The kind of life that others will be glad that I lived and steadily build a positive result. When I realized this and put it into practice, the devils left me. They could no longer appear before me. We think that the exercising devil is kind of the spiritual ritual or something, but he focused on live ordinary person, live good person, leave the good impression, good deed for the world. Yeah. Recently, Master published the new book, The Law of the Secret. He said, we need to ask ourselves, after you were born on earth, whether this world is beautiful or not. If you ask every time, every day, you are progress. So I think that this situation is you are irritated by the criticism of the coworker, but I think I recommend just ask yourself, what do you do in that situation? You didn't make a good positive effort, good result. So circumstances, it doesn't matter. In the circumstances, what do you do? What are you going to do as a good person? So this accumulation of good deeds is serves open up your future. I believe so.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. I believe you can do anything. Yeah. I believe that God believes in you. So God knows and sees your potential. So I believe in you too. So you can.
Thank you very much. I hope that words and phrases in this program will become words of awakening for everyone who has the same anxiety as her to become worry-free. Please subscribe to our channel. And we will continue to solve many problems from Happy Science book. So please feel free to write in the comments or send us a message. Also, if you have any problems or consultations that you would like exorcists to solve, please email us on onayami@irhpress.co.jp. See you next time. Bye bye.